welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I have finished a diamond painting set. I didn't finish anything in July. I finished the June waffle, and then I have been on a very large painting and very busy, so I hadn't finished anything at all in July. Hence the reason I've actually sort of delayed the logbook video a bit, because I haven't got much to update in it. But the past couple of weeks I have tried to make a very conscious effort to do some diamond painting, otherwise I become a workaholic. And I kit up the PaintGem mini set Summer to take away with me for a little weekend trip we did to Center Parcs at the beginning of June. And while I didn't get any done while I was there, I did decide this was an ideal thing to do a little bit of each day, because this is extra. I actually have 3 PaintGem mini kits all set up to the right hand side in art dot drawers, and they are the ones that I sort of have on the go until they're completed, and then I do a rehash. This one is extra, so this one is now complete. I will show you the paintings in a moment. I've started storing them in a new way. So I do have my book. Let me find the right one. I do have my book ready for the summer paintings to go into, but while I'm working on them, I keep them in the little pouch that I store like the set when it gets to me from PaintGem, and attach them to the card, because what I found I was doing was attaching them to the cards and putting them all in the display books, and then I was having to take them all out the display books to take my final picture. So I've taken out that step. So I will show you those in a moment. But firstly, I need to dekit the diamonds. So let's grab my first box of squares. I have 4 boxes of squares, so it's not worth keeping them all out straight away. So these are 100s to 500s. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm actually just going to go across my lines, and if it's between 100 and 500, I'm going to bob it away. And if it's over, I'm going to skip it until the next box. And I'm kind of hoping that that will mean I don't miss any. Ah, these are the stickers that don't like to come off, and it doesn't help that my nails aren't helping matters today either. They're a little bit thicker than normal. Okay, so I am going to have to use some Goo Gone on these. I'm going to try and make sure that I peel off at least the paper part, and then I can deal with the Goo Gone later. But I've found that there is just a couple of sets that are actually quite hard to get the stickers off. Not all of them though, most of them are perfectly fine. But of course this set is one of the awkward ones. If I had all the time in the world to film videos, these stickers would peel off. But because it is Advent season, and therefore we are extremely busy packing Advent, I've actually left Megan packing up the next lot into bags for me. They're being awkward. But if I leave them all until the end of this video, then this case is going to sit there for probably another 3 months until things quieten down. So at least peeling them all off will give me that start. Okay, so this is up to 500, so they're all above 550. Our gorgeous purple. So I keep hold of all my spare diamonds. I actually have mine split into squares and rounds. So I have 4 of these boxes for my square diamonds, and I have 2 for my rounds. A lot of the big paintings that I have in my stash and that I do are squares, and of course the PaintGem mini sets, of which I've done loads and have loads. They're all squares too. So I do tend to find I end up with more squares left over. I do have a few big ones in round, and I do enjoy doing rounds. But a lot of my round paintings are actually smaller, which means percentage wise I end up with less diamonds left over than I do with squares, which is why my squares are frankly so full. My squares do have room to move. I do have extra little dividers in to sort of make them sit nicer. But yeah, I store my spares. I've done one Heaven and Earth design, a painting that was actually 40 centimetres by 2.5 metres. And yes, you heard that right, 2.5 metres. And I did the whole painting using spares. Now, some of those spares were gifted to me due to the amount that I needed, but it was all done using spares. I've also used my spare diamonds, is it 2 or 3 times for definite, when I have had a painting that has actually run out of diamonds. I've actually run out before it's finished. Now, most companies, many companies, will send you extra diamonds if you run out. They have like an assurance that they will send you the missing diamonds. But who wants to wait for that? I don't. I do not want to wait for the missing diamonds, so I use my spares. You can also get diamond painting canvases that are blank, so a bit like my Heaven and Earth design. My Heaven and Earth design is actually a cross stitch pattern that you can purchase from them, and then I purchased a blank canvas and used my spare diamonds. You don't have to do one that is as big as mine. You can do small ones too. You can also use them to decorate like wooden pieces or coasters, things like that. You can use your spares to decorate those and give a little bit of extra pizzazz. There are so many different things. I have also gifted many of my spares to people that are either doing their own Heaven and Earth design painting, or they've run out on a painting and they don't actually have them. And I just feel that it's better than just throwing them away. Though sometimes that would be easier. Sometimes it would be easier to just throw these bottles away as well. But anyway, okay. 415. Let's try and get these diamonds away. I do always like sort of a good put away of diamond session and tidy up. Makes me, I don't know, I feel like it's another step of accomplishment when I get to tidy up. And believe me, this craft room needs it at the moment. It is absolutely covered, primarily with all the quilting stuff I got at the NEC the other week, but yeah, it is covered with stuff. And if I can get these away, it is one step tidier and one step straighter in here, and then maybe I'll get a bit of time to straighten up everything else one of these evenings. Well, I'll have to straighten up to be able to get to my drafting table and actually complete my big diamond painting. So I'm going to have to straighten up soon, because I am trying to diamond paint just a little bit each evening. And then I like to do a little bit of quilting at the weekend, maybe followed by a little bit of diamond painting, depending on how much quilting time I've had, how much free time I have or haven't had. So yeah, I definitely need to straighten up the craft room so that I can get my big painting back on my drafting table and actually get some of it completed. Okay, so that's all the ones I have for that box. I do still have 310 to put away. However, if you've been diamond painting a while, you will know that 310 is one of the most popular colours in a diamond painting because it's black. And therefore, I actually put all my square black in one of these. It used to be a bigger bag. I've now changed it to be one of these more skinny bags because it fits in my drawer a little bit nicer. But they're all my spare ones, all little bits of dryer sheet floating around in there. I actually have one for 3865 as well. I've just recently done one for that because I have loads. But this painting only has 5200, so we're good there. But yeah, I actually realised that I was getting more spare 3865 than I was 310, so I figured it needed its own little tub. Goodness me. I think I had this on one of my last sets, but most of the sets that I've done don't have this sticky of stickers. Oh, this is a fairly new case as well. It could be that. So most of my cases are of course well used and well loved and have a constant sort of cycle going on. So because of that, they have had glue gone on in the past. So I've cleared off bits of sticky labels in the past, and anybody that knows that's tried Goo Gone, it smells gorgeous. It smells of oranges, but it is like an oily substance. It's got like a slight grease-like texture to it. And once I have Goo Goned pots, sometimes I do find that they don't pick up as much. Like they don't stick onto the sticker as much going forward, whether it's just residue from Goo Gone or not. It might be, but I am pretty sure this is one of my newer cases. Is it bad that I don't know if it definitely is? That's probably a bad thing. But anyway, I do have multiple videos on me setting up this spare storage if you are looking for a way of storing spare diamonds yourself. They are all on my YouTube, but the easiest way to find them is to go to my website addmorezest.com, go to the link that says videos, and there is a spare storage section there, and it takes you to YouTube when you click on the links, but it's just laid out a little bit nicer than YouTube for you to find what you're looking for. It also has all of the measurements that I use for both the cardstock that we do actually sell in the shop, and also the likes of the foam board and stuff. They're all detailed on that breakdown with the highlighted videos as well. So you could always watch them, see my storage box evolve. I started with very simple, no pretty sticker dividers on my boxes, plain labels for my DMC numbers, and then I prettied everything up, and we started selling the pretty parts in our shop for anybody else that wants to pretty them up as well. But yeah, it's definitely evolved over time. It's had a couple of little spring cleans. I tend to spring clean around once a year. And if any of the bags have got a bit too full, I sort of take a bit off them. I wonder how long it's going to take me to trash my nails doing this. Hopefully not long, because they were only done last week. Hopefully long, sorry, not long. Hopefully it won't, because I need to keep them for another week or so. But anyway, while I'm dekitting, I hope everybody is well. We are very busy here over at Add More Zest, which is why I'm very happy that I've actually got to get a diamond painting completed and finished, or a set of mini ones finished and completed, because it is so easy to not be diamond painting because I keep working late, especially because it's light out. So I end up working late, and then sometimes I end up just sitting down and getting lost on my phone. And I do much prefer it when I am actually able to get some diamond painting done, or some part of a hobby done. So I am trying very much to make a conscious effort and to, consciously do a little bit of diamond painting each evening. There is the odd evening I haven't, but the majority of them I have. So that can only be a good thing, can it not? It is, if I can get through some paintings. I've got my big painting on the go, but what I also keep forgetting, and I shouldn't do because it is out on the side in my craft room, but when I spin a decision wheel to decide what type of painting I'm going to be doing next, so whether it be a large round, a small round painting, a large square, a small square, or a special diamond painting, because I have a few special diamond paintings in my stash. Well, when I kitted up on the last day, which is my big painting that I'm working on, my decision wheel also chose a special diamond painting for me to do, a peacock one, and it's here on the side. I haven't done any of it yet at all. But the idea is when it picks a special diamond painting, I do it sort of alongside my big one. So maybe when I have a little bit less time in an evening, or when I just fancy a change, the idea is I can do some of the special diamond painting. So maybe while I can't get to my drafting table at the moment because I've piled it with quilt stuff that needs organising, maybe I will make a start on my peacock. And you never know, I could end up with 2 diamond paintings completed in August. I don't know if a special diamond painting's not completed. It's not a cheating, it's still a diamond painting. So maybe we can get that one completed too. I'll have to put it on my dining table as like a reminder. Do not forget, you need to do this. You need to complete this painting. Let me leave it in your way so that you remember. Because that's what I did with this summer set. I kept forgetting. I tucked it into an obscure place where it does not belong in my craft room. And therefore I kept forgetting that I also had that set to do. So what I've done this past week or two is I've actually put the PaintGem mini set out in the conservatory on my dining table as a reminder. So it's another kind of nice thing to have it completed, because it now won't be on my dining table. It is instead going to be a peacock. I just end up moving it from one thing to another, but there's so many things to remember at the moment. I've got so many things going through my brain that sometimes I just need those prompts, especially when it comes to things like me time. because June Waffle has finished. So during June Waffle, of course, I had June Waffle on my brain. So therefore, it kept reminding me to have me time. Do the video, have me time. Awesome. And as soon as June Waffle finished, I forgot as much about having me time and went into Advent prep mode. So having something out on my dining table is prompting me to have me time, even if it is less than normal. But that's fine, because I actually enjoy my job too. It's just a different kind of me time. It's a little bit more tiring me time. Right, we are getting there. I keep seeing these going down. Fighting with stickers isn't helping. My head keeps turning around and looking at the mess on my drafting table. Maybe I should try and make a bit of time for that tonight. Who knows? Right, 712. Oh, there's lots of sevens in this one. 739. We actually had a lot of colours in this one. Very pretty colours though. And I will show you the paintings at the end. I've also, somebody did suggest a video doing sort of a flip through of all my completed sets of PaintGem minis, because I have them all in display books, so it's fairly simple to be able to flip through them. So I think I may be doing that video in the next week or two, while I don't have as many diamond paintings completed to kit down, and while I don't have the time that I have at other times of year to, you know, do some weird and wacky and different type videos. I think I might do a flip through of those so that you guys can see the ones I've done so far. They've actually, just as I am filming this, they have just released 2 more sets. And yes, I have ordered them. I might be trying to control my stash, and I might be trying to consciously buy for my stash, not buy for my stash, sorry, and consciously try and work through my stash and really think before I add to my stash, which is especially hard being on YouTube. But yeah, I'm trying to very much think about what gets added into my stash ongoing, because my amount of paintings in my stash, and the amount is different for everybody, but my amount is feeling just a little bit too much at the moment. But PaintGem minis don't count. That's my one exception to the rule. So many people tell me that they are on a no-buy, apart from Add More Zest, like trays when they launch and stuff. We all have our little thing that we are allowed when things release, whatever they may be. You've got to have your little caveats. If it's not a matter of budget and not a matter of I'm not buying anything because I physically cannot afford it, then I think it's always right to have little caveats. And the PaintGem mini sets are mine. Because I still have space for them. They're stored in a different place to my diamond paintings. Oh, this actually goes higher up than I thought it did. Yeah, they're actually stored in a different place to my sort of large diamond paintings, and it's my large diamond paintings that are taking over too much space for my liking, which is why I'm trying to work through them. But my PaintGem minis are in my little trolley, and while it's getting full, it's not yet too full. not yet too full to move, so I'm allowed to add those. Okay, 3078 964. Gorgeous blue. That one's beautiful. Okay, so this box has my 900s all the way up to my 3600s is in this box. So getting rid of a few more than I originally thought. They're 3/8. That's what I want next. 958. Go backwards. Gorgeous colours. I didn't add any ABs to this set, primarily because I'd added ABs, etc. to the ones that I have on the go permanently. And therefore I would have had too much overlap of colours. So I decided to do this set as provided, as intended, and do it as a straightforward set. 975. One more for this box. We are getting there. Actually, really can't wait to clean up these bottles. I do find with Goo Gone, while you can, when it leaves bits of paper, so bits of paper and sticky residue, you can use Goo Gone to go over it. But what I tend to find is where there is paper residue as well, you sort of, when you go over it once, it will take the paper off, and then you have to go over it again to take the adhesive off. So I always try to get as much of the paper off as I can, so that the Goo Gone can just concentrate on the adhesive, which is why you find me peeling these other bits up. They're definitely not perfect, but we'll take care of the rest after. Okay, box number 3 is done. Box number 4. This is just my 3/7000s to my 3/8000s. As you can see, I do have quite a few more buffer things in these, because it's probably the least full box that I have. But it's still actually quite a lot of DMC numbers for this. And then I'm using my little short bookmark. I pop it in behind my number, but in front of my bag. And then I know where I'm dropping my bag back into, because otherwise they tend to readjust themselves. Why are my children no longer at the age where they would enjoy sitting and picking all these stickers off for me? Does anybody else have a child that's at the age that they do enjoy things like that? It's like a little parenting win when it comes to things like that. Does anybody have a parenting win when it comes to their craft? Do they have a child at an age where they enjoy doing something that you don't like doing? That is my question. 6/4. Forget how far back that goes. That one in. Definitely got wiggle room in that row. I think I got to the point that I'd used up all the pieces of foam board I'd cut up like this. Because I did a video a while back where it was one of the things I wanted to tidy up. There's a few different bits I'd like to do in my craft room, but the two main bits were adding extra foam to this and adding foam to my tray storage, so that my zesty trays just were able to be thrown in and they'd all sit in the same position. Cheat way. And yeah, I did a video on each of them, and it actually didn't take that long, but it's so much nicer to not have them moving and floating around as much as they were. A lot easier to sort of handle when putting my diamonds away. I've got a nice amount of space for them to breathe, which is good because they're in 4 boxes, so they should be able to breathe. Some people do like to use these bookmarks that I'm using to like prompt my place. Some people also use them as the like big number dividers, so the 3-7 and the 3-8 dividers. But I think even if I did that on mine, I don't think I'd be able to get it down to 3 boxes. Or if I did, I think it wouldn't last long as 3 boxes. And I'd have to go back up to 4 anyway. So I'm keeping that in reserve. And if my 4 boxes start to get too full, then I might have to do it. Right, 3, 8, 2, 6. 3 more to go. And then I can clean all this gunk off. Haven't had any numbers that I've not had before. My squares I do have the most of. There is not many numbers I don't have in squares anymore at all. There's a few in rounds, but I also have like less overflow, like less really fat bags of diamonds in my rounds. But I've definitely got more gaps in my rounds than I do my squares. Okay, 6, 3. That one in. Cool. Nearly put it back in with the 6 4s. I also set myself a rule with my spare storage. I only have 1 bag per diamond colour. If you're just starting out, you may decide that you want to have more than 1 bag, or keep all of them regardless of how many bags you end up with. And this storage system will work for that as well. You just have a bigger gap between each of your cards. And that's why I created this storage system quite a few years ago. It's been adopted by many now. I did try the baseball card sleeves in a folder, but then I found some colours I would have a lot more of. Quite often found that after numbering all the baseball card holder things, plastic wallet things up, that I'd have a lot more of the numbers that like were in the top right hand corner, and it'd be dead thick, and then the bottom would be really thin, and I just didn't like it. Did not like it at all. It wasn't neat and tidy, and I could see it getting more frustrating as time went on, which is why I came up with the photo box storage method. But diamond painting has got so big now, I don't think people even know where it originated from, unless you've been following my channel for years, and then you know where it came from. But look, Goo Gone is getting all of the extra adhesive from the stickers off. I know some people are more than happy with leaving this sticky residue. Some people actually number their bottles like 1 to, in this case, 60, and then use the numbers on the side of the canvas to figure out which one they need. But for me personally, I would prefer the step of adding stickers and taking them off than have to look at my canvas every time before I pulled a diamond out. Plus it makes it easier to dekit, because I'd have to look up the number before I dekit as well. So I much prefer to just look at the symbol on my canvas and then pull out the symbol bottle. But I do like to clean off my bottles once I've finished. And as we can see, I've got one there with paper. just a little bit of paper, and the glue gun's getting it off, but I'm having to go over it like quite a bit more to get the sticky from underneath. So yeah, I like to clean them all up, get rid of any residue, get rid of any rogue diamonds, because when I next use this, I will be starting a brand new shiny kit, and I don't want dirty bottles to go with my new shiny kit. So I would much rather take the time now and clean it up, so when I open it up I don't go, ugh. I go, oh, that's pretty. It's a pretty storage case. Okay, 2 rows down. Let's get this cloth has only ever been used for Gugon. It's my Gugon cloth, so it is covered in remnants of sticky residue. And I am rubbing on the odd bit with my nail, primarily where paper's still stuck, just to make sure it comes off, but I'm mainly doing a circle motion and then using my finger to get off any stubborn bits that need it. You can tell as I've got further on with each box, as I've got further along the back of the row, there's more bits of paper stuck. It's like I've lost interest in peeling the sticker that much. Nearly there. Oh, it's going to be so good when it's done. That's what I keep telling myself. Swap hands when my hand gets tired. And no, there's one stubborn bit there. It needs a right hand. Do you know what? It might actually be something underneath. Yeah, it's a bit of diamond underneath. Oh well. Oh, this bit's a stubborn bit. Where's me? I think I've lost myself from my wet part of my cloth, or my glue gun's dried up. So let's get a little bit more. This bottle I have had for a good 4 years maybe. Used it on a couple of house projects, but primarily, well actually we used quite a bit of the bottle originally for a house project to get rid of remnants of things we'd taped up on the roof of the conservatory, or blinds we'd taped up before our fitted blinds turned up. So we used quite a chunk for that, but since then it's been going for years, and it doesn't stink like a cleaner. I say it smells of oranges, which is nice and clean. Okay, there we go. All ready for my next project. There is a couple of little paper bits that have fell off, and you can take these out if you need to check for any rogue diamonds, though you can tell this case is new because there's nowhere near as much floating around in the bottom as some of my others. So that can go back on its correct storage shelf. And let me show you guys the completed paintings, and then I will take a picture and pop them into the display book. These do fit in and out of here, they just get a bit stiff. So I do keep the front and back of the box while I'm doing the paintings in case I want a little reference. I've also got our stickers from the shop, which are all on the paintings, so I can put the summer one on the side there, and they can now go. This can also go ready. See, look, I've got an empty one now, ready for when my new ones turn up. And let me show you you guys all the paintings in the summer set. So we have a tent, Hello Summer, love that toucan. We have a camper van, a suitcase for your jollies with your hat and your bag, some surfboards, an island, a boat, a waterfall, a sunset, gorgeous colours in that one, a deck chair, a lighthouse, and some flip-flops, or thongs as they're called in Australia. So what I'll do is I will take a picture of these all laid out, and then I put one per sleeve in my summer book, and it will go up on the shelf with my others. I have a lot, so I will do a video showcasing like a flip through of all the ones I've completed in case you want to see what any look like when they're done. Over the next couple of weeks I will fit that one in. I've just had a look. It is nearly a full stretch of the Billy bookcase of these books. I've nearly, completely filled it from beginning to end. So I might have to pull down half of them, see how long the video takes me. And maybe I'll do it in one, maybe I won't. Time will tell. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me while I de-kitted that kit. I think my nails have survived. Yay for Builder Gel. Because it's needed. I don't do the whole careful. But yeah. Thank you for joining me while I got this de-kitted and got my craft room one more step back to normality. And I'll speak to you all again soon.